Hello, everyone. Good evening and a very warm welcome to all of you. Hi, I am Arohi Tyagi, Associate Dean here at AAFT Online. And I, on behalf of the entire AAFT Online family, welcome you all to this special webinar wherein you will learn a lot and by none other than Mr. Rajeev Kohli. Well, born into the travel industry, Mr. Kohli has a deep passion for showcasing India to the world. With over 29 years of experience, he is the joint managing director of Creative Travel, a family legacy spanning two generations and 47 years. A master's graduate in business from University of Southern California, specializing in marketing and entrepreneurship. He also holds an economics degree from Delhi University. Certified in incentives and destination management, under his leadership, Creative Travel has become South Asia's most globally awarded DMC, earning over 88 national and international accolades, including 8 Site Crystal Awards. Mr. Rajiv has held key industry roles, including the Global President of SITE and Senior VP of ITO. In 2021, he became the first Asian inducted into the Events Industry Council's prestigious Hall of Leaders. And currently, he was also the president of Euromic, wherein he just left the position 2 weeks prior. So without further ado, let me welcome Mr. Kohli here. Hi, sir. How are you doing?
Thank you, Rohit. Hello, everybody. Pleasure to be here. Thank you, AAFT, for having me. I always enjoy talking to the younger entrants and people interested in our industry. So thank you for that.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you here with us, sir. And before I pass on the stage to you, I would request all of you, in case you have any questions, please put them in the Q&A box, which is located right below on your screens, and we would be taking them at the end. All yours, sir.
Thank you, Rohit. So let me just put my presentation on. Cool. Well, again, good afternoon, everybody. So I understand there are people on this webinar who are interested in joining the tourism industry. There are people who are exploring options for education in the tourism industry, and there are people who might be in the industry. So for those of you who are considering joining this industry, I just want to say it's perhaps one of the most interesting, most engaging, and most rewarding fields you can choose. And an education in this industry can only take you further, if nothing else. So congratulations on making that first step in trying to learn what tourism and what this is all about. So my presentations tend to be informal in some ways. I will have text. Don't feel stressed to read the text because I'm not going to. I'm going to talk from experience of working in the industry for 30 years. But broadly, what I will cover today is what is a DMC, about cultural storytelling, immersive travel experiences, balancing the art and science behind being a DMC, and where the industry is going today, and some things that inspire me. So Aroy has given you a little bit of background on who I am, but I have been working in the industry for 30 years, and I will tell you a little bit about my journey and my company as well. I was just very recently named as one of the 100 most influential people in the events industry globally. Only one of the 3 Asians in that list, and I've held a lot of other things. And I find those positions that I've held as opportunities for learning, for growing. And one of the things I tell people, and I tell everybody, the day you think you know everything and the day you think you've learned everything is the day you start going down. Even today, I'm always learning, I'm always growing, always attending seminars, because that's what drives me. And I think that's the passion you should have as well. At the very basic, what is a DMC? Now, our industry in tourism is very vast. There's inbound, there's outbound, there's domestic, there's religious, there's MICE, there's wedding, and it goes on and on and on. But a very core fundamental position, a DMC, a destination management company, is an organization that designs and executes travel experiences in a certain location. We're experts at logistics, at planning, at dreaming, and in different parts of the world, DMCs do different things. Now, DMCs in Europe tend to be more pure logistics, accommodate and dining and transportation. DMCs in Asia tend to do a lot more. And again, I will give you a few examples through what my company has done. But a DMC is not a travel agency. We're not a tour operator. This is technically a level above the general travel organization. I don't do tickets to Thailand. I'm not booking resorts in Nainital. What we do is very different. And at my creative travel, as one of my brands, is 100% facing the international traveler. We've been around for 77 years. We're family owned, privately owned, and we are today South Asia's most globally awarded travel company. And that goes to the efforts of the team that we've had over the years. We're also a top luxury operator. It's not only individuals, it's also group incentives, which are corporate groups, meetings, and different projects across the world. Also, as a DMC, we have a network of associate offices across the world, and they sell for us, they market for us, and they represent what we do and where we are. Now, a DMC by nature, and as I said, we're not a travel agent, we're not a tour operator. It is a step above, and I will some ways call it a specialist, a super professional in creating travel experiences. It's about asking the traveler, what do you like and where do you want to go and why do you want to go there? It's about matching interests, matching budgets. It's about bringing local touches, what we call authenticity. And some of these words tend to be very overused, but some of the words are very important in what we do. It's about connecting the dots. Now, when you do travel, you've got hotels, you've got cars, you've got guides, you've got dining experiences, you've got air transportation, and anybody can buy all of these pieces individually. And a lot of you probably do. But what a DMC does, it takes those points and connects them in a logical, seamless, hassle free way. Now, there is a lot of talk these days on artificial intelligence and the use of technology. I per se am not one who thinks AI will affect the DMC business and the way we deliver and the way we operate. However, I am using AI very effectively for cutting down my time on doing mundane tasks such as creating proposals, creating text to send to clients across the world. So technology has a space, but technology is not going to replace anything. At the end of the day, AI is only as useful as the questions that you ask it. It's not going to replace the person who's asking the questions. Now, as I said, the DMC community, and in fact, what Aroy mentioned is an organization called Euromic, EUROMIC. And Euromic, actually, one of the five founders, invented the word DMC about 52 years ago. And a DMC is an evolution of what a travel professional does. It's about creating experiences, it's about being an architect of experiences, and it's about storytelling. It's about taking the essence of a destination, be it in India, be it in Netherlands, be it in Brazil, whatever it is. It's about taking those points and making something more out of it than what a normal person um, can get. And a lot of the times, DMCs get access, create experiences that normal people may not be able to or cannot get themselves offline, off the shelf, off the internet, or just by calling places. Now, to us, especially in India, storytelling is critical. Today's travelers are no longer visiting a destination just to say, okay, I saw the Eiffel Tower, I saw the Statue of Liberty, I saw the Taj Mahal. They want to go in for a more deeper personal experience. People want to feel and experience the real depth of a country. I mean, yes, when I grew up traveling, and I've grown up in the business, as I said, we're a family business for been around for 48 years. And I've been working here now for about 30 years, but I've grown up in the industry. And in my times when you were traveling, you'd go to Thailand, you'd go to Singapore. There was no Dubai back then the way we know it. And you go for shopping, and you come back. Today, even the average Indian who travels abroad is no longer traveling for shopping, because we have choices in India, but they're traveling to feel what other cultures do. And that's where the DMC community plays a very, very strong role in designing that experiences. So that ability to be creative in the head, that ability to think out of the box, that ability to narrate a dream is what defines the distinction between a DMC and a normal travel company. Now, when I talk about India, and I'm going to show a few slides on how do I present our country. And when I'm talking about India, and I'm again addressing an international audience, and we are a B2B company, so I'm talking to foreign tour operators, travel agents, travel designers. India is a feeling. India is an emotion. India is an experience. India will amaze you. India will change you. We are an incredible destination. We're centuries and centuries of stories. We're a land of contrast. We're an overload of the senses. I tell people we're the one country in the world that's the birthplace to four major religions in the world. We're one country in the world where our constitution has 22 official languages. We're one country in the world where the only common language is English. So when someone comes to India once, they never ever see enough. They're just skimming the surface. I tell people India is a journey of the senses. It's what you see, what you taste, what you smell, what you touch, and what you hear. And wherever you go, at every corner and every day, you feel something new, you feel something different, and you feel something unique. And that is the beauty of India. Even today, having worked in this industry for so long, I can go to a very basic city like Jaipur, which is a core in what we do. And every time I go, I still see something new. That's the beauty of my destination. And that's the pride in our destination. And I tell people one of the most significant differences we have when selling our destination is the people. But also, how do we present our wonderful culture? And again, it's about storytelling, it's about the narrative to corporate groups. Yes, they want to see our Taj Mahal, they want to see our forts and palaces, but we also need to talk about the economy we are. Now, the reality is for all of you, the Taj Mahal, the Red Fort, the forts and palaces, or whatever historical monument there is in the town and city that you're in, is your culture, is your history, is your past. It will always be a part of you. But our highways, our airports, our shopping centers, this is the reality of what India is today. That's the modern India. And very few countries in the world can you go and see the old and the new. So, do you see where I am going with the storytelling? When you tell a story, no matter who you're telling it to or where you are, you have to tell a story keeping in mind who you are telling a story to. So when I'm talking to an international corporation, an international meeting planner, an international incentive planner, I want to tell them the reason why your client needs to come to India is to see one of the most powerful economies in the world. And yes, we have amazing culture. Now, there's a big difference between just travel and visiting and immersive travel. And if you Google the term immersive travel experiences or just travel experiences, you will see a lot has been said for the last several years now about what this is. We went from travel to luxury travel. Now, luxury is probably the most abused word we have in our industry today because luxury depends on where you're from, it depends on your income levels, it depends on your social economic situations. For me, having worked in this industry, Luxury is sleeping in my own bed and not sleeping in a hotel bed for 6 months a year. For me, luxury is having my home cooked food, and I love to eat. I travel the world, and when I travel the world, I never eat Indian food. But when I come back home, my meal waiting for me, no matter what time I come, is a special dal and a special kebab, which I always love. For some people, luxury is staying in a five-star hotel. For some people, luxury is going to a local home. So a DMC is supposed to design those experiences depending on who they're addressing. It's very important to understand one size does not fit all. Now, when you go to a shopping mall, you see lots of clothes stores. There's not one clothes store. You see lots of shoe stores. There's not one shoe store. It's because different people have different tastes. When I'm addressing someone from the US, it's going to be in one way. When I'm addressing someone from Mexico, it's in another way. When I'm talking to a traveler from Germany or talking to a traveler from Singapore, everybody wants to see the destination from their cultural interest and viewpoint. That doesn't mean we have to change a lot because our most basic program, Delhi, Agra, Jaipur, is the same in many ways, no matter where the traveler is coming from. But how you get those stories, how you twist the little bits to make it interesting for that culture is something you need to learn. And yes, you will learn some when you're going through a course, but you will learn more on experience when you join this industry. Learning the basics is important, but taking the basics and then assimilating your real life experiences is where it goes next. Now, when we're drafting immersive experiences, and I have a team that's created over 250 experiences across the destination. I'll show some to you. But you have to be emotionally aware. You have to be aware of how differences on certain things between cultures. I'll give you a little example. Food. Now, I bring in someone from Mexico. Oh, they enjoy our food because their food is very similar. I bring someone from Brazil. For them, pepper is deathly. Okay. The British enjoy our food. And in fact, the British find it interesting that the Indian food they know in the UK is completely different from the Indian food that we really have. What is unique to our destinations? And there are a lot of small things which, for you, is everyday life. I mean, we have this saying in Hindi, "Ghar ki murgi dal barabar." Now, for us, a tuk-tuk ride is, yeah, it's a tuk-tuk ride. We have to go from home to the market. We take a tuk-tuk, we take a rickshaw, we take a scooty. But for them, that's a mind-blowing experience because many cultures don't have that. You need to be conscious that what we are used to sometimes may be too much for an international traveler. And the same for Indians going abroad. Some things are a cultural shock. And as long as you are aware on how to position those things to the traveler you're talking to, you won't go wrong. Never feel afraid to ask questions. I have a very simple policy in my office. When you leave my room and you nod your head, yes, I understood, you have to have understood. If you've not understood, please ask the question again. Don't make assumptions. In our business, making assumptions is where gets you into trouble. And in our business, when you make assumptions, you make a mistake, it costs a lot of money. We try to design things which are interactive. We're not a country, we're not a culture, and I'm not only selling India. It's India, Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, Tibet, and the Maldives. I cover 6 unique destinations. And even though we're neighbors, each one of these destinations has a completely different mindset. But people are coming and traveling today, and even yourselves, you're traveling to experience, to interact, to get your hands dirty, as we say. You don't want to sit and just watch. You want to be part of the dance. You want to be part of the cooking experience. And of course, logistics is a given. If you're a DMC and you mess up at the simple connectivity, then quite frankly, you don't deserve to be in the business. Okay? Some things are basic in our industry, and some things you will learn in our industry. How to book a car, how to book an air ticket, how to book a train ticket, how to book a guide, what type of guide to book, what type of car to book, how to get a car from point A to point B. And once they get there, how to get them from point B to point C. There are a lot of little tricks that you will learn. And again, some you will learn in your education and some you will learn when you are on the job. But never feel afraid to ask the question, especially from someone more experienced and senior than you. What's nice about my industry, you like to teach. And you will always find someone willing to teach, willing to give advice, whether you're in their company, whether you're just a student who wants to learn more. Reach out to people. Over the years, students from across the world reach out to me often. We'd like to know a little bit about this, or they read about what we do as a company, what I've done as a person. Why did you do that and how did you do that? I talked about experiences, and so we have a product line called Crafted by Creative, and I wanted to show you a few examples, like sunrise overlooking the Taj Mahal, yoga overlooking the Taj Mahal, and yoga can be done anywhere in the world. Now, in our culture, yoga is something you get up in the morning and you do, and it's a way of life. You don't even think about it. But for Western and Eastern cultures, for them, yoga is fascinating. And yoga has been exceptionally commercialized in the West, whereas in India, it's just a part of everyday life for most people. Having a conversation about tea. Yes, all of you drink tea. For you, tea is just a process of living every day. But the West is fascinated why we are so enamored, why we are so fascinated with tea every day, and how we drink tea so differently. When I explain to people the concept of ready made tea, where everything is boiled together, that's something the average Westerner has never heard of. Of course, cooking classes, which are always a hit. Inexperience with an elephant. Now, no elephant riding. Okay, this has been banned by many, many credible operators. We don't do it. There's cruelty and there's also safety. But walking in an elephant, understanding what an elephant does, getting a picture with an elephant, very cool activities. Meeting with a monk or a priest, going and seeing the living goddess in Nepal, or a Bollywood dance class. This is such a hit with people because, of course, our movie industry is legendary. We live, breathe, and die Bollywood. And that's a great hit, an experience, what we show to our travelers. Now, experiences can be for 5 rupees, for 50 rupees, for 100 rupees, for 10,000 rupees. They're experiences for everybody. But as a DMC, you will learn how to design experiences based on the culture, based on the budget, and based on the time. Now, being a DMC is just not blah, blah, blah. It's just not creativity. It's just not being open minded. It's also a science. You have to be very precise in what you do. And at the end of this presentation, I'm going to show you something that I'm very, very, very proud of. But again, you need to be creative in how you design. You need to be the storyteller. You need to keep on finding ways to do things differently. And I think this is where my industry has failed the most in many countries in the world, not only India, is that business owners, people working in DMCs are not innovative. They get so used to selling the same trip again and again and again. They don't find ways to do it differently. And that's where the opportunity lies. It's a scientific process. As I said, how to book, where to book, whom to book, which hotel should I be using, what is the rate negotiations I need to do, how do I manage time? Because when you're moving human beings around, and if average traveler comes to India for 7 to 12 days, when you're moving live human beings around, you cannot be jugadu, you cannot be chal jayega, you cannot be ho jayega. There is precision that's required, and professional good DMCs get that right. And of course, ethics, sustainability, and responsibility to your environment and the people around you. Now, what's nice is that the new generation, you are more responsible. You do want to be sustainable. We don't do single use bottles in our events. We try to minimize single-use plastics. There's a lot of things that you need to bring in and you need to learn and you need to make an effort to Google, to research how is tourism becoming sustainable? Because in the world, we are perhaps one of the worst offenders of the carbon footprint. Okay, we take trains, we have planes in the sky that are just giving out toxic gases. Now, will we get rid of that? No, we can't. But how can we as professionals make little changes to make our world a better place? Now, the industry is changing, and it's changing in different parts of the world, being experiential, being more detail oriented, being just not providing a checklist, trying to create an impact that's emotional. When I joined the industry 30 years ago, the most basic trip to India was Delhi, come to Mumbai, Aurangabad, Udaipur, Jaipur, Agra, Delhi. That was the classical program. Then over time, that program evolved. Aurangabad got completely left out of the tourism system. They lost all their flights. So the classical program went from Mumbai, Aurangabad, Udaipur, Jaipur, Agra, Delhi to Delhi, Jaipur, Agra, Khajuraho, Varanasi, Kathmandu. Now, even that has changed over the last few years because of poor connectivity for Khajuraho. So now poor Khajuraho has been left out of the system. The number of tourists have completely dropped. The world changes. Not only do economies change, not do only people change, but the way we can operate is changing. A big trend that's happening these days is wellness. Wellness, and I think there are very few countries in the world who can claim the crown to be the epicenter of wellness. It's not only Ayurveda, it's also Tibetan medicine, it's also traditional Chinese medicine that we have here, it's Unani medicine, it's yoga. And wherever you go in this country, you find points in which you can sell as a wellness destination. And it's a very high value, a very profitable segment that we in the industry are looking at. And of course, a very emerging but a long-term trend are people coming for business but staying on for travel, for leisure, for holidays. So you come for a 1 week business meeting, Monday to Friday, and then you decide, hey, let me spend 2 extra days and go see the Taj Mahal, go to Jaipur if I've seen that before. The only constant we have in our industry that it's always changing. And especially working in a country like India, where we don't control anything. My industry doesn't control the airlines. We don't control the hotels. We don't control the taxes. We don't control the land banks. We don't control the monuments. So I am working in an environment where I have to take all these ever moving pieces. And in an amazing country like ours, you take 2 steps forward, another thing takes 2 steps back. It's just never peaceful, but it's also never boring. Every day when I get up in the morning and I look at my emails, it's a new day, it's a new challenge, it's a new opportunity. And I'm proud to have a team in which we are respected and regarded to be one of the most innovative companies in the industry. And that gets us business for people who are looking for us because they know we enjoy a challenge. I want to talk about inspirations, and I think I've actually gone much faster than I had planned. So, Aroy, we can have a conversation after this. But inspirations. Now, after working in the industry for 30 years as a DMC, I've seen a lot. Okay, we've done a lot. We are privileged to have done things no other company or no other people in the world have done. I have taken people in Nepal at 14,500 feet to serve them champagne, ham, and cheese looking at the Taj Mahal. We have done a thali dinner for 800 people in Delhi when everyone said it's impossible to do. I did a group in which we got 350 custom-made kurta pajama salwar kameezes for a group within 48 hours. Our industry, you are only as good as your last project. It takes a long time to build a reputation. It takes only a few minutes to lose a reputation. And it's not necessarily only true in our industry, it's true in anything you do in life, but especially in our business, where we rely on word of mouth, we rely on people referring us to us. We rely on the ability for us to talk about what we did before, like to talk about the helicopter experience in the Himalayas or a Thali dinner for 800 people. They sound very simple, but the logistics, let me give you the logistics of a thali for 800 people required 3 days of staff training, required 6 kitchens to be created, required enormous logistical planning. And after we did it, the catering team came to me, did it go well? I said, absolutely. He said, yes, I was nervous because the biggest we had ever done before was 200. So it's about confidence. And if you're confident, your suppliers are confident, your partners are confident, it goes well. Inspiration. So 4 years ago, I went to Ladakh for the first time. Now, it sounds strange that someone with my experience has never been to Ladakh before, but it was a fact. People used to tell me, oh, you should only go to Ladakh in summer. I went in February, and I tell people, you want to go to Ladakh, please go in the winters. When it's empty, it's private, and the landscape is magnificent. 4 years ago, I went for the first time. I was guest at the government of Ladakh speaking at an event. And when I left, I said, before I die, I will do a corporate incentive here. And a corporate incentive is a company bringing their best employees or best salespeople on a vacation, on a trip to say thank you. So Reliance may take 1,000 people to Bangkok as a thank you gift. Tata's may take 500 people from Tata's Motors to Dubai for rewarding them for doing well, for hitting the targets. And I said, before I die, professionally, I want to do my first group. And I did it last month. It took me 4 years to find a client who was brave. It took me 4 years to find a client who trusted me. And it took me 4 years to find a client who had the dream. These were 32 people from Latin America, South America. And in 1 week, we went from 3,500 meters, which is Leh, minus 14 degrees temperature, to 0 degrees sea level at plus 28 degrees centigrade in 1 week, ending in the Maldives. This trip was Ladakh, Varanasi, Maldives. No Agra, no Jaipur. When I told my friends I'm doing this group, they all said, you're crazy. Minus 14 degrees. And in this picture, if you see, we're all standing on the frozen river. And if you Google the Chadar trek, Chadar like as a blanket, trek. This is one of the most famous treks and legendary treks in the world. So the Chadar trek is a trek that happens on this river. And we took these people here. A blessing with a monk, intimate, engaging experiences. Watching the Aarti ceremony in Varanasi, which is the most unique ceremony on the planet. It doesn't matter, rain, no rain, and people who know Varanasi, who have been there in the monsoons, knows the water goes up 40, 50 feet. It happens. This ceremony happens every day. It's not a tourist show. It's everyday life. And being DMC, I am privileged and lucky to have the ability to make these experiences. And being a DMC in India, and it doesn't matter where you are from. Yes, bulk of our business comes to Delhi, Agra, Jaipur. That's a lot of business in the country. But our country is so large and so beautiful. I will never get to see this entire country. In the pandemic, I had the opportunity to go to Arunachal Pradesh. And I called my friends from there. I mean, Switzerland is nothing in front of what we have. Okay. You go down to the coastline of Kerala for its beaches. You go to the backwater of Kerala. You go to central India for its wildlife and its for natures. You go to see the temples in Orissas. You see the unique architecture of Tamil Nadu. It doesn't matter where you're living. It doesn't matter where you want to study. It doesn't matter what village or town you're from. It is for you to take the knowledge you gain, to take the knowledge you will gain while studying and create those experiences around you. Yes, everybody wants to come live in Delhi. Most of my team members come from outside the Delhi NCR region originally, which is true for a lot of our industry. But we are finding a whole ecosystem has grown, a whole world has grown in our country of experience creators, experience providers at the grassroots level. In small towns, in small villages, in offbeat places, they are creating stories based on where you came from and where you were born. Being a DMC doesn't mean you need to be big. Being a DMC doesn't mean you need to be rich. Being a DMC doesn't mean you need to have a lot of money. You need to have an open mind. You need to have the ability to think differently. You need to be brave and go out and say, I used to do this when I was young, or this is what they do in my town, or why can't I take this everyday unique experience and sell it to the world? And that is the career opportunity that awaits you. Tourism is a wonderful industry. It's the one of very few industries where you see the results of your work instantaneously, immediately on the face of the traveler standing in front of you. This group I did when we landed in Maldives, people started crying. They were so overwhelmed and touched by the depth, by the extreme experiences they had in that 1 week. And that is your opportunity. That is what I hope the next generation does with our destination, is take what generation after generation has built and make it something different. That's what I did, the learning I got from my father in the business. That's what I hope my children one day will get. And that's what I hope for all of you listening on this call will do as well. So, Rohit, I hope I covered everything. I'm open for any questions from you, from the students, or whatever we want to do.
Yeah, absolutely, sir. And I think it was a very amazing and insightful talk. And I'm sure the learners are going to benefit from whatever they've learned here today. And to all the learners, all of you who are there attending this session, I would just want to tell you that we at AAFT do offer, an online diploma program in travel and tourism, wherein you can learn all these skills and upscale yourself and make your career into the world of tourism. So if you have that passion, if you have that spark in you, you can call us, you can mail us, and you can reach to us. We'll be happy to share our brochure with you, our, syllabus with you. And our next batch starts on 15th of Feb. So in case you're interested, do drop in a mail or a query, and we'd be happy to connect with you. So, sir, beginning with the questions, we've got two
Sure.
questions here. And I think there is a question wherein, Arijit is asking that, hello, sir. Speaking of experiential travel and tourism, in the recent time, we've seen the rise of eco-glamping projects, which has become a trend. And we see many state governments also promoting tourism sites, setting up this glamping project, like, the vineyards of Nasik or beaches of Orissa. So do you see this as a trend-setting momentum as DMCs bring in more innovative solutions to promote lesser explored Indian destinations.
Absolutely. And this is what I said. These trends you're seeing and these green shoots, these new ventures, entrepreneurs are coming from the local people. It's not the Delhi person going and setting this up. Yes, there are a few of those. It's not people coming from outside setting this up. It's that spark um, of imagination from the local community, from that local entrepreneur that's creating this. And this is what's feeding us as a company. I need these people. I need that local innovation to add to my product. I mean, I can sell the standard with my eyes closed, but to have those new glamping, to have those new walking experiences, to have those new little things like the perfume experience at Kanoj or a silk experience on Orissa, yes, that is the future of the industry. And what we are very lucky in India, we have a lot more than anywhere else in the world. And we have more variety than anywhere else in the world. So if you see something in your 5, 10, 15 kilometers where you live, go for it.
Absolutely, sir. Also, sir, you've been, you've been into generations in this business, right? So how have you seen this industry evolve, the DMC industry?
It's tough. I mean, I don't think any business is easy. Um, and businesses, look, the laws, and again, I'm an economist by my core education. That was my undergrad degree. And there's certain laws of economics which are fundamental. Change will happen. Now, okay, I'm a little older than most of you here. I'm not that old, but I'm a little older than most of you here. I grew up in the generation in which we had to pirate audio tapes to get our music. Then we got the CDs. Okay, I brought one of the first copies of Windows 95 to this country when I came back at that time. Businesses evolve, industries evolve. Many of the callers, so viewers, may not know about Nokia, may not know about BlackBerry, may never heard of the airline called Pan Am. And as we're evolving, you will see in change is happening faster. You will see at a certain point, Uber will die. Technology is being used differently. People look at someone like Oyo as a hotel company. I don't consider Hotel Oyo to be a hotel company. Oyo is a technology company that is using hotels as a product. Taj, Oberoi, Leela are hotel companies. They have a core space in running hotels. Oyo has a core space of technology and some standardization to the hotels it has. It's a different market, it's a different niche. WeWork came with a big bang. Then WeWork went bankrupt overseas. So the business is evolving. We're always trying to play catch up, but I'm always trying to see how can I be a little bit different, how can I be a little bit innovative, and how can I use the tools before me, tools like the glamping, like the wine tour, like whatever it is. How can I use that to stand out in a very crowded market? It is a crowded market. It is a competitive market. There are no barriers to entry working in tourism. Other countries in the world require licensing. To be a travel company in Hong Kong, you need to put money as a bond. You need to have a license. Same in Singapore. Same in a few other countries in the world. Same in Dubai. Not in India. So that means technically, with an email address and a cell phone, you could get started tomorrow morning. I'm not telling you to do it, but it keeps on changing. And that's the beauty of our space.
Great, sir. So we have a question by Lavanya, and she's asking that, sir, may I know your insights about MICE, the meeting, incentive, conferences, and exhibition through travel and tourism industry?
So, Lavanya, MICE is actually one of my core passions. Um, we as a company, and I personally also am globally recognized for what we have done in that segment. MICE is a very big area. Meetings, incentives, congresses and conventions, and exhibitions and events. Now, incentive travel is my passion spot. We do all. But MICE is not tourism. MICE uses tourism as a tool for activation and delivery. This is why many countries in the world, if you look at Australia, if you look at Dubai, they call MICE business events. Okay, a meeting is not tourism. People are traveling to go to a meeting using facilities for travel and tourism, but it's a business event. Incentive travel is a human resource tool. It's a motivational tool. So when you talk about incentive travel, you talk about motivational travel. And in incentives, a company gives, travel is just one of the options. They give money, they give TVs, they give iPads, they give various things. So it's merchandise, it's cash, it's kind, it's travel. Congresses and conventions are formal events for companies and for associations. Exhibitions are networking zones. So when people look at MICE, tourism is one of the tools MICE uses to execute the objectives. So there is an overlap. It is very confusing. Our government is confused. A lot of my industry is confused, but my learning over the time and my viewpoint is that it's the same thing. And that's why many countries look at MICE as an economic activity. And the MICE bureaus tend to be aligned or come below their ministries of commerce or their departments of trade, not the departments of tourism. Because the give back to the economy. And if you look at someone like Taylor Swift, and if all of you Google or you might have seen the word Swift economics, how Taylor Swift's impact to the local economies was, they were estimated, I think, $2 billion. Singapore made a deal with Taylor Swift that we will pay you, you will not go to any other Asian country. If you look at her map, she went to many places in Europe, many places in America and South America. She only went to Singapore in all of Asia. That was a deal Singapore made. It upset everybody else, upset Thailand, upset Malaysia, but the economics return to Singapore were way, 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 way more. And that's where MICE comes in. It's business.
That was a great insight, sir. Okay, we have a chef here with us, and that is Chef Dhruv. And he is asking that what's your idea on possibilities of culinary tourism?
Culinary tourism is happening, Dhruv. It's happening and it's happening beyond your imagination. I mean, there used to be only one company doing a Delhi food walk. Now there are a dozen. And you do a Jaipur food walk, you do an Agra food walk. I mean, just any one of you know what petha is made of? I never knew what petha was a pumpkin. I think a lauki. I never knew petha was a lauki till I did a food walk in Agra. And I said, okay. So I don't know if I like it anymore or if I don't like it anymore. I mean, food walks and culinary tourism is core. And when I said people are traveling for different reasons, you need to sell travel by passion. I travel for food and for history. There are people who travel for wine. There are people who travel for shopping. There are people who travel for beaches. There are people who travel for architecture. And culinary tourism perhaps is one of the most well-established tourism segments globally, and it's an old segment. Where we perhaps do suffer in India on culinary tourism is the stigma that our food is too spicy, you will get sick, come to India, पेट खराब हो जाएगा, and hygiene factors. And I think we as an industry have not done a great job. Now, I saw a video 2 days ago on why India has no Michelin star restaurants. That was a very interesting, and I've known the answer before. But if all of you know what a Michelin star restaurant is, the Michelin Guide, Michelin, read the story, because the Michelin Guide was started by the Michelin Tire Company to create highlighted restaurants along the highways. So people would drive, they would use more tires and sell more tires. So today, the Michelin Guide is global, but countries pay to get them there. It's not free. And Indian food is very different. It's not different in what we eat, how we eat. It's different in what food means to us. We do not do fine dining. You know, when I'm trying to explain to someone, we don't have a white tablecloth, lovely candle restaurants in our culture. Because when we as Indians go out to eat, is to celebrate with family, is to have fun, is to enjoy. We don't go out to have food to be fancy. In fact, I tell people the only time Indians dress up is weddings. Otherwise, when was the last time you wore a suit and tie to go have dinner? Never. I would never do that. Okay, so Dhruv, culinary tourism is hot, it's happening, it's blowing up, and the opportunities are tremendous. Google what's out there, Google what people are doing, get into that, or find a niche you think nobody else is doing. But it's there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for answering that. I can see a few hands raised up. Please, if you have any questions, please drop them in the Q&A box or the chat box in case you do not find that. I'll take them up. Okay. Vatsal has a question that I would like to ask, how we can promote lesser known travel destinations.
Well, promoting lesser known travel destinations require marketing, and someone had asked the question about states encouraging. Some states do a very good job at encouraging tourism to the backlands, some don't. But I mean, when you come to me to say, can you please promote my village? I need to know what is there to see. I need to know how can people stay there. I need to know how people can get there. I need to know the health and safety. One of the biggest challenges we have in a country like India, it's too big. Okay. Again, the generation that's listening is blessed to have the number of planes and airlines it has. But before 1990, 1990, 1994, for an average Delhi person to go to Goa was a 3-day train ride. They could not even think of going on the limited time, limited LTC budget going to Goa. Today, let's go on Friday, come back Monday. The opportunities you have, but the country is too big. Everything cannot sell to everybody. It's impossible. So don't think I have something great in my town. Let's bring foreigners to see it. Yes, I understand the sentiment. I appreciate the sentiment, but it's not going to happen that easily. Okay, even today, being what we are as a country, bulk of the tourism in this country, I mean, bulk, I'm talking about 75-80% stays in North India and stays within some parts of UP, Rajasthan, in the Delhi area. That is the reality. Logistics are important. And yes, we get more and more airports. Yes, we have more and more flights. That is happening. So if you have a place, get the community together, get the local state government together, and see how do we bring people to see, because that's the way forward.
Great. Again, thank you for answering that, sir. Lavanya has another question, and this is related to what is the importance of logistics and vendor management according to different travel and tourism projects?
I mean, that's core. I mean, if you don't have your logistics, your vendors aligned properly, you're dead. You're not getting anywhere. Okay. I mean, at my company, to be a partner supplier, it's not easy. You can't just walk in. We check a lot. Every vehicle's insurance is checked. Every driver's license is checked. So this is a very fundamental. I mean, it's fundamental to every business, every manufacturing industry. If they don't have strong vendor management, supply chain, I mean, this goes into the supply chain of business. Now, supply chain on manufacturing is easy to understand. Supply chain in services is harder to understand. But it's pure supply chain management, and any business that needs to succeed needs to make sure its inputs, be it a chef, be it a hotel, be it a DMC, be it a travel agency, if your inputs, because we are aggregating, we're connecting things together. I'm not manufacturing anything. So if I don't have my supply chain sorted, I have a big problem. I will not survive.
Got it, sir. And we have Prachi with us who's asking that can I make a future as a tour operator in Goa? And she also wants to ask whether a formal education in this sector, like travel and tourism, would help her make her career in this sector.
So, Prachi, education, look, I am on a seminar from an educational institute. And the reason for that is yes, education is important. Okay. The AAFT course is a fairly credible course. You have many choices across the world where you are. Um, but fundamentally, if you go to tourism school and think I will learn everything and I'm done, you will fail. Okay. Arohi mentioned I have an MBA. Now, an MBA is not regarded to be a professional degree. A CA is a professional degree, MCA is a professional degree, an MBA is not a professional degree, and there's a fundamental reason. The only thing an MBA does is teach you how to think and how to think differently, how to think from a marketing angle or a finance angle, how to strategize, how to analyze. And that's the same thing a tourism course will do for you. A tourism course will give you the fundamentals, it'll give you a fast track on what is required, what are the aspects. Will it be your whole and soul um, end of what you need to know? No. As I said, I'm still learning. The business is evolving. In certain businesses, there's no evolution. You're a CA, you're a CA. Your evolution is in changing of the rules and the laws, not on the fundamentals of running your business. In tourism, it's changing every day. So it's yes. I mean, look, I shall keep on educating myself to the day I die because I'm not retiring. I will die doing this business because this is what I love. So I recommend, yes, an education is important. Can I have a future as a tour operator in Goa? I was in Goa recently, and without offending my friends, partners, and the people in Goa, it is a very weak destination. It's a very unimaginative destination. And I think they're so far behind the world in being a quality driven destination. I did a very nice tour with a local experience provider. I really enjoyed it. Goa is more than the beaches. Goa is more than all the Delhi and Mumbai elite going building second houses there. Goa has amazing history, has amazing food, has amazing little things to see. So, can you have an opportunity to be different in Goa? Absolutely. Don't think I just want to be a transport provider, pick people from the airport, take them to the hotel and do one sightseeing tour. Dig deep, find the stories, find the people you can bring into your stories. And that's the path to your success.
Got it, sir. Got it. Absolutely. Okay, Shubham has a question, and the question is, how can sustainability and responsible tourism be integrated into luxury and experiential travel in India?
I think responsible tourism, sustainable tourism has to be a core about everything. It doesn't matter luxury, non-luxury, backpack tourism. Bottom line, you have to be responsible. Now, many years ago, I gave a talk about green meetings. This is back in 2012, and the whole concept of green meetings is very new. And I discovered, and it's a fact, being sustainable, being eco-friendly, green meetings are more expensive than normal meetings. Okay. Um, I don't know if you can see this, but no, you can't see this. Okay. Well, what I'm trying to show you is a yellow piece of photocopy paper. Now, this yellow piece of photocopy paper is recycled photocopy paper that we use in my office. It is almost double the cost of normal white paper. But we feel we need to be responsible. Okay. Being responsible means trying to reduce plastic bottles. Being responsible means, and in many countries, it's the law. They have said you are no longer allowed to have bars of soap. You're no longer allowed to have throwaway shampoo bottles. So in all luxury hotels across now, more and more, they have those pumps,
Dispensers, yeah.
dispensers. Um, that's sustainability, and I get very irritated when I'm in a meeting room with somewhere, and at lunchtime they change all the water bottles. I said my water bottle is half full. You go to the Maldives. In the Maldives, they have to make what we call homemade water, all the resorts, because for them to buy water and bring plastic will be ridiculous. And I said, don't you dare remove my half drunk water bottle from my room. You can put an extra bottle, but don't take away because there's a cost. So sustainability starts at the smallest level. I mean, they say in Hindi, and my Hindi is not that great, but boon boon se sagar banta hai. So every little bit counts. So don't think, and even forget tourism, forget your job. For you as the next generation in your daily lives, don't throw garbage on the streets. Don't waste. Be responsible. Switch off the electricity when you leave your room. This all goes a long way in making our planet better. And if everybody starts practicing that, and our tourism industry has become very aware because our customers are asking us also. So take that path.
Absolutely get your point. One last question before we end, and this is by Arijit again, and he's asking that there's an overlap in storytelling between travel and tourism and the events or experiential marketing business. So, how do you see this merger in the recent future for the industry?
So the experiential marketing business is okay. So the experiential marketing business falls in a lot of ways more under the MICE side. It's transactional. You go to an event, you have great experiences, and then you leave. Tourism, the experiences are more longer running, more longer lasting. There's no competition. I mean, if you look at some of the top luxury brands on the planet, you look at Patek Philippe watch, you look at a Rolex, you look at a Rolls Royce. I mean, I'm going to the extreme level. They only focus on the luxury of the experience. They never talk about the machine. Okay. So experiential marketing has been around for some time. It's growing because as the generations change, and that's one of the biggest changes in travel, people are getting younger, people are traveling different. You will travel different from your parents travel different from their parents, and your children will travel completely different from you. You think you're very smart, you know everything, till you have children, you won't realize how stupid you are. Okay? My 26 and 27-year-old boys tell me very often, you're very old fashioned. And I don't think I'm old fashioned, but Roy, you would have told your parents the same thing at one point in life. It's generational. Marketing changes. Marketing is about talking to the emotions. It is a fact. I am an Android user. I love Samsung. I don't like Apple products. Yet, everyone on this call wants an iPhone. It is a fact the iPhone is technologically inferior in every way to a Samsung. This is not an opinion, this is a technical fact. Yet, Apple has created the emotion, the feeling of wanting to buy that product. And it succeeds. To me, the number one marketing company on this planet, and my favorite, is Disney. Disney creates that mood, that aura for you to spend money with them. So, experiential marketing is different things to different people, different things to different industries. How a car manufacturer looks at it, how a hotel looks at it, how an airline looks at it, how a hospital looks at it. I mean, hospitals are also doing experiential marketing. You go to the modern hospitals in the big cities, the lobbies, the lounges, the food courts, they're very different from what it used to be. So it's a very vast industry and it goes across everything.
Thank you so much, sir, for answering all the questions. And to all the attendees over here, I would want to tell you that in case you want to hear from more such experts in the travel and tourism domain, please drop in your queries. And, we have all of these experts coming in at the AAFT online platform, wherein you would learn about the industry in a greater depth and all from the comfort of your home. So you can drop in your questions, queries, whatever you have in your mind on this number or on this email ID, and we'll be happy to help you out. And thank you so much, sir, for taking out time and
My pleasure.
delivering such a wonderful and informative talk.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you,
And all the
everyone.
best, everybody.
Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you.